Hi, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Davey.
I'm Xavier.
And we are
The Bargain Bin Gamers.
And this is the podcast and YouTube show where we put the gay in gaming.
Whilst also looking after you at home, Brian, your hip pocket.
That's right. I'm sure your name is Brian. Or Brianna.
We're extra silly this week.
Wherever you may be listening or to watching us, you may be sitting on the toilet taking a shit. You may be in the car. You may be on the tram. You may be on a run somewhere. You could be at work, but welcome. We're very happy to have your company and to have Xavier's company again for a second week in a row. Mm-hmm. We definitely had a whole week in between doing these episodes.
As you can see by our shirts.
We've come back and we've worn the exact same thing for narrative continuity.
Exactly. But before we begin, we'd just like to give a big shout out to all of our BQN Podcast Network patrons, especially to this show's associate producer,
May M, we love you.
We do love you, May M. And remember, if you would like to help keep this and other BQN podcasts coming to you every single week, sign up to be a patron at patreon.com/BQN.
Isn't that right? Yes. And if Patreon isn't your thing, then the best way you can help is by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your preferred podcast platform, or liking and subscribing and commenting on YouTube helps others to find us in the algorithm.
It does indeed. And we are here today. It's not a yap week, it's a topic week. We're on a topic cycle.
Wow. Coming at you fast and loose with those yaps and topics.
Yes. But we're diving into something which is very, very near and dear to us today. Mm-hmm. So, Xavier, last time you were on the show, I sought you out because I saw some of the work that you'd been doing in getting collections of like queer games together and queer artists and queer digital artists, but not just like video games and tabletop games. And that kind of really was one of the things that opened our eyes to the thriving queer gaming scene that there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is all your fault, by the way.
Great. This is all. If you want someone to blame everyone.
All my responsibility.
This one over here. So we've brought Xavier back today to have a little bit of a chat about what's going on. Just what's going on in LGBTQIA plus gaming.
I need you to tell me what's going on.
What is going on?
What's going on? What's going on? So this is just going to be just a bit of an open conversation between the three of us about what's been happening in this space, what's working, what's not working, and how people can get involved. But I wanted to start with setting the scene a little bit, and I thought it would be good if the three of us just kind of give our own view. And I think I'll save Xavier for last on this one because it's probably going to have the most informed opinion.
And the smartest one in the room, probably.
But, well, no, I'm coming as myself.
Yeah.
So.
Where is queer gaming at 2026? Mitch, where do you feel it's genuinely been, and what's different over the last couple of years?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's why I asked it.
Don't actually know. I feel like as a queer person playing games, I've simultaneously never been more represented and not. I don't know how to word it other than that. Like the indie scene is so like, come, welcome. And like, I feel like the best representation, we recently did an episode about it of like gay icons and things like that. And some of the more modern day ones were a little bit more almost like, you had to infer a bit more than they were actively queer. Now, I think that's a mix of things. You know, there's some certain regime changes going on in some major countries that make games that are not exactly queer friendly. So I feel like some of the queerness has been died down. But also I feel like it could be that the indie space is covering for the queer representation. So maybe more AAA games don't feel like it's as necessary, or they can leave it to more subtext and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like I miss the old school. We recently played Star Fox and those villains were so camp and so gay. And I kind of miss that like old school camp of queerness. Whereas nowadays we have like Ellie from The Last of Us too, and I'm like, okay, I guess she's kind of cool, but like, I don't know, I miss a big old gay, you know what I mean?
I'm sitting right next to one.
But even then, like, so my, like, the representation that we were thinking of was for some older games from, like, you know, Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect and stuff like that. And I'm trying to even, like, rack my brain and think about some newer games that I've played where, like, the character is queer or even has like a queer option or
Yeah.
can even be ambiguously queer. And I've had to get all of my love from maybe not as AAA. Probably the best representation at the moment has been like Supergiant with like Hades and Hades 2 because they've been such smash successes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been relegated to like more niche games, and the AAA scene has been happy to allow that, whether it be because of, you know, current global situations or otherwise. But I wish I could have a game that was a bit gayer. I wish there was more gay stuff going on.
Well, I mean, there is. And as we found last year, it's all happening in more sort of the underground sort of, or indie scene. But I even feel that, like, I mean, maybe we haven't been diving into it as much lately, but it feels like even that's been a little bit quieter this year. I mean, we had the pleasure last year of being able to work our way through the fabulous Melbourne Queer Gaming Festival, and we met Luke, had him on the show, but that had to take a break last year.
Yes.
Which we're hoping it will return. But you know, I haven't seen as many platforms for queer games, even during Pride Month. Like the storefronts for like PlayStation and all that kind of stuff used to throw up a whole, you know, LGBTQI characters section. I don't know if I saw that this
I didn't
year.
see a wink from any of them this year.
Yeah.
So
And I also, when we had Robin Gray on recently, who is CEO of the company that does the gaming magazine, GAYMING, he also spoke about like the struggle of getting sponsors for his Queer Gaming Awards, where a few years ago he had like over 20 sponsors, and this year he had like 4 or 5.
it's that little shadow banning thing that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
and like,
shadow
like
banning, and I mean-
using shadow banning in this context is maybe a little bit less correct, but it's the temperature shift on queerness. You know what I mean? When certain people take certain power and, you know, certain opinions come up, they might not outwardly reject it, but opportunities don't come as easily. Games don't get pushed as much. It's like a quieter thing. So that's maybe what more I was thinking of. Have you got further to add?
I don't know. Are you waiting for me to add further?
Well, if not, we'll go to the resident smart person.
Well, I was just saying, let me control the flow of the show.
Okay, all right. Sorry, everyone. I'm the face hire still.
And no, I was going to flick to the voice of authority we have with us until you were decided that you were going to just wrap me up with you. Have you got anything else to add?
So anyway, quick, we got a special guest over here. So Xavier, so this is my story. Tell me.
Oh, I couldn't see Davey over there.
Yeah, good.
Going on.
So I'll be fully honest, I have been on leave from work in the last 6 months. So I only just got back to work this week. This is in fact my first week back.
Hot off the press, everyone.
I haven't really looked at my research in the last 6 months just because I wanted that full time off. But that said, you know, I was playing games, and I just like Mitch, I experienced very similar. I decided I'm gonna play only indie games. Actually, I just decided to not play AAA, not even AA, because all the indie games is where all the good juicy story is at. It's also bite sized. You can finish it in 5 to 10 hours. Like you just can't get, like, you know, I played Expedition 33. I played Blueprints. These are all great games. I played all these other games that, you know, made lots of sales. No queer representation. Where are they? I don't know. In indie games, it's so easy to find it. I'm seeing the same thing. And I wondered if it's like a combination of the last, I don't know, 4 years in a row of industry layoffs. So the games industry is very highly volatile. No one feels safe. And when no one feels secure, you wouldn't feel as willing to kind of give out sponsorship, to kind of support queer people, which is very important. But if they see it as a potential risk for their job or potential another expenditure that they have to justify, probably there's less willingness going on. But that's not going to be like that forever, right? Like that's going to come back. So hoping that by the time we come back, we'll be coming back with full throttle.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is maybe going back to what we spoke about last week as well, where like games are in such a weird space where they have to make so much money that, you know, queerness, open queerness, whatever you want to call it, might be seen as a little bit more of a risk financially wise. So some of those things might be being airbrushed out just a little bit, just to make sure that the games are like, can, you know, have such a wide net of audience and stuff like that, which is a bit of a shame. But because I've played so many bloody games with straight people, it hasn't turned me straight. Don't know why they're so worried.
But you're so straight acting.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Sorry, I know my knees are put together like I'm a good Catholic schoolgirl, but let me tell you what, if these blokes were next to me, it'd be ass Brennan.
I did read on Blue Sky just yesterday, the developer of Small Saga, it's like a small indie mouse-like RPG. They're trying to get rating at the moment, and they're trying to actually avoid a R18 rating. And they're like, oh, is it because of the Saucy Mouse magazine that was like an art asset in the game? Is it because of like a particular comedy moment? They have gay romance. Is it because of the song lyrics? No, it's because the game has one fuck at the very end. And that bumped the game rating all the way to R18.
Oh my God.
And then they're just like, okay, I guess
That is so
Literally,
strange.
that's who gives a fuck.
Literally.
Boom-tish.
yeah. So
I mean, Davey's probably bleeped these out, but so I guess we
but
do.
it's like the games industry better get their priorities straight.
Well, I'm.
that way.
This is me becoming a bit of a parent, and let's not get too sidetracked. But aren't kids watching like streamers like mogging and like swearing and treating women bad? Like, you think a little fuck at the end of a game is going to corrupt them? Look at their internet history.
Right.
Like, I feel like parents don't parent anymore. Like, sorry, I'm really going off on a tangent. Let's pull this back. Shout out to all you parents watching. Do you know what your kid is doing?
Famous child rearer over here. Who does so
Listen,
much.
I'm what happens when you don't rear your children correctly, so I'm a warning.
Love you, Jodes.
Love you, Jodes.
That's his mum.
She doesn't watch. She doesn't watch or listen, so
I love her anyway.
I love her anyway, yeah.
So I think that this is and how I've kind of split my notes up for this is sort of like the makers of the games, the indie devs, the community, and, the current climate and the road ahead. And, you mentioned there you've only been playing indie games, and that was very much us last year too. And that not until we got into indie gaming did we discover queer-made games.
Right. Yeah.
We spoke on the last episode about the non-binary coded games, and in fact, the amount of trans and non-binary people that we spoke to last year as well who were involved in game making was staggering.
Yeah. Shout out Jevin, love you.
Yeah, like incredible. But like it also always just kind of makes sense too, because I mean, queer people have always expressed themselves through art and performance, and making games is just another form of creativity and another way to tell our stories.
Music to my ears. I wish the government sees it that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then I also think that there's something special about it being this indie thing that we have. Because it's like something that only a few of us know about. Like, I take, for example, Key Fairy. I don't know if you ever came across Key Fairy, Xavier, by a group of people from Queensland. We met them at PAX. We had them on the show. We tested the game for them, and it had a full release. And then I remember I heard them talking about it on Checkpoint on Joy, and I was just like, good for them. I'm like, you know what I mean? We're in on that.
We're part of the community
We're part
there.
of that little inner circle.
Yeah. Well, you were right about I'm like this is a slight tangent again, but I'm a massive horror movie fan as well. And horror movies that have been made in the indie scene have always been like a bit of a queer people passion as well. And it's the same with gaming, I feel like, as well. Like a lot of people that identify as queer or are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, however you want to be, if they make games, it's usually like a representation of themselves or like a lived story or something like that. So it's usually like the bare bones of some of that. So that's why these games get pulled up and become like queer games, whatever that means, because it has like a nugget of like someone's life in it. And I think it's interesting that both of the underground scenes of making horror movies and making games is so queer. Whereas as you go up, the industries take less risks and things are a bit more palatable in air quotes, and they buffer those things out. And it'd be interesting to see, like we mentioned last week, about those like more AA studios kind of being let go and having a bit more freedom to see if it does filter up again. Yeah. Because I feel like we're having like it happened where it was like, a more conservative government, more conservative media. And then it was like Obama was in and everyone was gay and doing drugs and everyone was having a good time. And I feel like that's when everyone was like, there was lots of queer media, there was lots of queer characters and stuff like that. And then it dips again. So I'm wondering if when we have a swing back up, it all trickles back up again.
Yeah.
One can hope.
Feels like it's dipped pretty low at the moment.
It has dipped fairly low, yes.
Yeah, no, but you are absolutely right. Yeah, that we have gone from you're very focused on sort of the AAA sort of mainstream part of the conversation at the moment, and on that side of things, yes, we've gone from a world where creators of TV, film, and any kind of media were being actively encouraged to include queer people.
Yes.
Now, not so much. Star Trek Starfleet Academy was mysteriously cancelled after it came on air during the current climate and included multiple gay characters, queer characters, non-binary, all that kind of thing, right? So,
Well, now we have heated rivals, so I guess.
we do have heated
cares?
rivalry,
But
right? More women writing softcore gay porn.
Yes, but that's true. You've been the one who's been keeping the indie queer gaming scene alive, apparently, not us. So you'll
He's been on holidays. He took a break from it.
Yeah, true.
There is a bit that is troubling for this scene though at the moment though, and it's around their own visibility and their ability to get discovered. Shadow banning is something that people are talking about. I don't know if it's real or if it's actually happening. Like, have either of you actually come across any examples of shadow banning?
I've had shadow banning happen to YouTube channels that I followed for a long time that have like posted content, and I remember like it's hard to even really realize because it happens so insidiously and it happens so slowly and you don't really pick up on it until you are suddenly like in a completely different world. You're like, oh my God, where's my YouTube videos gone? But there was this YouTube channel that I used to watch like every week, like all the time. They were super queer. They would always talk about like philosophy and the current government and stuff like that. And then they just vanished.
It just stopped getting recommended.
Even though I was subscribed to them, I liked their videos and stuff. They were just suddenly dropping. And then I did a bit of research into it, and like their actual view count was also going down as well. And I was like, have they been shadow banned on YouTube because they're talking about like queer revolution? Whoopsies. Now we've been shadow banned because I've just said it. So yeah. But what about you? Have you noticed any?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yes.
I haven't really been thinking about it. I have noticed that the governments constantly put out to social media companies to be like, can you make sure this content is age appropriate or whatever?
Age
and then they
appropriate.
have to, exactly whatever that term means, right?
Yeah.
And then they would have to comply or be given some kind of greater punishment. And you keep seeing websites sometimes getting taken down, and then they're just like, yeah, we didn't have enough time to comply, or some channel will just disappear. And I guess the more recent example, maybe not shadow banning, was PayPal. This is like,
So you talk about the itch thing?
Yeah, 6 months ago, right? That was outright banning like queer content be able to be paid for it.
Yeah,
And
so basically anything that was listed as
Adults.
like adult was delisted off
yeah, you
Itch.
couldn't search it, so that's shadow banning in that way.
Yeah.
And even if you could search it, you couldn't pay through it because each wouldn't take the risk to have the payment process to go.
Oh, this is so like, I don't know, I'm getting a little icky thinking about it, where it's like, oh, anything that's queer is adult only.
Yeah.
Even though queer children exist, I have never been straight. I have been the gayest little boy in the whole world. No amount of straight media turned me straight. I don't know why people think it's any opposite.
Well, I mean, it's impacted, a lot of different content because we know some creators who publish on Itch who do make, not safe for work content, right? But that's their art. Like it's not, they're not making porn. Like it's no different to like a Mills and Boon novel, which can be very descriptive with how her ample bosom felt. But it's becoming a real problem for them. But we're talking mainly as well about sort of the digital side of things. How are things in, you're into the tabletop community and all that.
I love tabletop games.
What's it like in that space at the moment?
I feel like it's still thriving from what I've seen. So people probably know that we have plenty of things like PortCon in Melbourne here. There's PAX. There's there's TableCon in the Gold Coast in Australia. There's a lot of conventions. There seems to be a new one coming out every year in Australia. And we always have, like, I would say, a huge amount of queer representation, whether that is queer game dev that's showing their games for the first time, someone's running a campaign with queer characters or things like that. That's always been there. I think what's really cool is a friend of mine, Stevie, they started a Oz Queer TTRPG nonprofit, and they actively mentor people who wants to kind of make games in that space. And they started to, have small donations and have online webinars to help people in that space. And then we also have the Australian role-playing community, which, I don't know, everyone there feels super queer to me. It's a really nice Discord server. They have partners in the industry in the tabletop role-playing game design and publishing space. It's very active. So maybe I'm living in a bubble, but I feel like the role-playing space is so queer.
Yeah, because it's a safe space,
Right.
and queer people have
But
always.
it hasn't always been a safe space.
Okay.
I feel like before 2013, we used to have probably not as mature of a community. There's lots of old gatekeepers, old guards there. And this is before like the crosses, the veils, the X cards, the tools that we know for safety was popular. And so you have a lot of problematic kind of games that were out that people were very uncomfortable. But post 2013, 2015, I think we've kind of leveled up.
See,
quite
it's
a bit.
like I said, Obama.
Okay.
We got a black president. All was fixed with the world. There was no racism, no homophobia. It was all ended in 2012.
The
Your
light's very bright for you.
your depth of opinion just never ceases to amaze me.
No, but really, we've come a long way. Like the
Yeah.
role playing scene is so safe.
It's really interesting to hear about like my entire life of knowing about like role playing has always been like super queer friendly. So the idea that it wasn't for a period, how upsetting.
I had to leave
Oh,
for like 10 years. And
Wow.
before I come back, yeah.
that sucks. But I feel like that's something that I'm getting a bit worried about with even gaming now as well, because like gaming's becoming like, I don't ever go online and do voice chat in any of these games.
No.
I'm like, oh my
no,
God.
I used
You
to
learned
all the
that.
time.
Yeah.
Like back in the 360 days, I always had voice chat
Back
on.
in 2012 to 2014, I would say.
You know, Obama became president in 2008.
Yeah, but he was re-elected for another 4 years, okay? It took everyone a while to get used to people being of color, I guess. I don't know. America's fucking
Okay,
weird.
you need to end that thought process.
But yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't want to like go onto like a server. So the idea that like even like in person in like a role playing game, which is supposed to be all about like expression and like creativity, that's kind of shitty.
It is. But I mean, it's a good segue into also talking about the player side of things too, because I think one of you made the point already that a lot of queer people play games, and there's still thriving online communities for queer people, especially with the likes of Discord and other spaces that we have with online streaming communities. A lot of queer people on Twitch, heaps actually.
Big fan. I follow a few of them. Shout out to you, Farn,
Yes,
once again.
absolutely. And and then there's groups like with your tabletop RPGs. We've got the Melbourne Gamers here as well, and Melbourne Gamers have been doing great stuff as well to make sure that they have really inclusive stuff across not just like the LGB part of it, but also the LGBTQIA plus part of it as well. With trans and non-binary nights and lesbian only nights and all that kind of stuff. So really just creating those safe spaces. And I must admit, like Discord, it has through like Instagram and TikTok as well, I've actually found like a whole new community and group of friends and an audience for this show
Oh, amazing.
through these things as well. Like there are so many great Discord servers out there, some not so great, where gamers can just come and share their content, their art. They'll be like, hey, we're jumping onto chat. We're going to go play Dead by Daylight or something like that. And we're safe there. But even like Discord has gotten a little problematic for people as well because of the age verification thing, which can be harder for some people because often people in queer communities can also be a little bit more vulnerable, be more disadvantaged as well. And you know what? The idea of uploading like their license or a photo of their license or something like that to Discord is also a little scary.
To signify that they're a queer person as well. They might not be out.
Well, you don't have to do that to signify you're a queer
I know,
person.
but you'll be
Just
joining, like-
signify your age.
You know what I mean? Like you'll be joining like queer spaces and stuff like that. And then the idea that you could be identified like that, like anonymity in some of these online queer spaces could be really useful because they might not
Possibly
be out in there.
No one's asking you to prove your queerness on Discord, babe.
They just have to, they just got to search up bargainbingamer.com here and they'll find out how queer I am. Don't even worry about it.
I also want to add in person, right? I think Acme is running and has been running for, I want to say 7 years now, women and non-binary game nights. It's like once a month or once every 2 months. It's on their website. It's literally, you can just find it in Acme.
That's awesome.
So if you're part of that group and you feel like going to social with other fellow gamers, there's another place for it.
Acme, so the ACMI.
Yeah,
Yes, the Australian Centre of the Moving
Moving
Image.
Image.
For
Yeah.
those
Very
playing
queer
along at
friendly.
home.
All playing along in the studio.
Playing along in the studio. I guess I want to loop back to what you were talking about, right? Because you've been yes, I'm talking to you, Mitchell. You were very big earlier on what's happening in like AAA space and like representation in media. What does good queer representation look like? You said you just want to see a couple of big gays, but
I just think that
you already have a few of those in your life.
Yeah, thank God for them. I don't know. I just feel like queerness has been pushed to being like someone that you read in like the Wikipedia page of a character, and it doesn't play a part of the game. And I used to be very for that, where I was like, oh, being gay doesn't have to be their whole character. Like they can do other stuff. Like they could just be gay. Wrong. They need to be gay and very obviously gay now. Like I need undercut lesbians. I need I want a character that's non-binary. I want them that to be their whole character trait, because I feel like we're really scrummaging for representation of any kind at the moment. So I think like a really out and proud queer character, whether it be villain, whether it be protag, I actually don't care, but someone that is effective at their role, plays a character well, and is memorable. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing a memorable queer character. My most memorable queer character of the 2010s and the 2020s so far is Bayonetta. She's not even queer. She just happens to be super camp. But I'm like, that's how dire it is at the moment. And like the other like one that comes to mind is bloody Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2.
Wow, you really hung up on that.
Well, I just don't. Her being queer was really revolutionary, but that game is such a downer game. I don't want it to be. I'm sick of these bury the gay tropes.
Oh, yeah, the gays must suffer. And that's even happening in like TV again as well. I just finished watching a show called Tiptoe with Alan Cumming. And great, written by Russell T Davies, the writer of the original Queer as Folk. And it's really, really funny at the start with, but like, oh my God, does it get depressing towards the end?
Yeah. So I think like a really good like I'm hoping that this is what's going to happen. I'm really worried that it's not, but I really want to see GTA 6 characters romance whoever you want. Okay. I want to be able to be the girl character. I want to go to a strip club. I want to pay for a stripper to put her boobs in my face. If I'm playing as the guy character, I want to be able to romance a man.
Okay.
You don't have to make them gay. Make them be whatever they want to be, but the option, I want it to be there. If it's not, I reckon that's going to be a really massive setback.
And what about for you, Xavier, as someone who sits more in the indie world?
I play lots of indie games. The last one that I can remember playing that has really strong queer representation is Are OFK. It's written it's called We Are OFK. That's the name of the game. So starting from mechanics, it's kind of like Night in the Woods meets like a slice of life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's written and performed by the same person who did Hyper Light Drifter. If you remember that game, it's like a cooperative pixel-like platform.
Yes.
Action.
Yeah.
I think the game, I forgot if it's the game director or the audio director who then directed this one called We Are OFK. It's full on basically three people who are living, I believe, New York, trying to make the best of their career in different places, but they're just friends. And so you see them in nightclubs, you see them in offices. Two of them are game devs. One of them is a sound producer. You see queer romance, you see struggles, you see family, you see breakups.
Love it.
It's very human, but also at the end of the day, people are trying to live a life in New York or whatever that city that they live in.
Yeah.
It's very endearing, and every episode, it ends with like a little music outro with like a mini game.
Yeah.
So it also breaks up the rhythm quite a bit in terms of what that game feels like. But yeah, that's because I play indie games only. In the last episode, I said I only play indie games nowadays.
No. But it's that. I mean, the question I was sort of going to go with there. No. It's okay. No, the question I was going to go with there was like, what does sort of good, same for you. Like, what does good representation look like? But you kind of answered the question anyway, because I agree that being able to get that slice of life, that's becoming a lot more popular because I think people feel a little bit more seen when it's that it could be a little bit stylized, but still what's at the core of it is like, oh no, that I relate to that. That's very much like my day-to-day life and like my community around me that's just been kind of, a little sliver of it's just been put into this game, and that's kind of comfortable.
Yeah. What about you, Davey? What would you say would be good queer representation?
Oh, just lots of dick.
So Rubber Yanks game is like your
Be
favorite
serious.
game.
Oh, sorry, it's having a very serious
This
conversation.
is a serious podcast.
It is a
Oh,
very
excuse me, I'll have you know this is extremely serious.
professional. We have Patreon subscribers. People pay for this.
I'm so
If
sorry.
you can believe it. What does good look like for me at the moment? I think just existing, and I actually would like to see a bit of rebellion in our media. One thing that queer media, whether it be through video games, movies, or TVs, has always done really, really well, or queer art in general, is rebel when we are being persecuted and when we are being pushed down. And there is a lot. I think not so much in Australia, but in a little bit, there is a lot of pushback on like just overall equality and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all that kind of stuff. And hell, like, indies make games that fight back against that, right? Like, in whatever creative way you choose to do that. And what we've been really, really good at when we do that is we do it with subtext, and we do it subvertly. So it's not so obvious that it's happening. I just don't want to see us go back to, I mean, as much as I love some of our more strong feminine characters of the past, I don't want to have to go back to that time where you don't see queer people and we have to see ourselves in other people, like,
Yes.
like the Golden Girls or something like that. But yeah, I think there's a need to fight back at the moment. And that's I mentioned that show Tiptoe a little while ago. Whilst it's quite depressing at the end, I think it's actually done quite intentionally because there's a lot of hidden and subliminal messaging throughout it about the fact that it's a little bit harder to be queer in the world in the last 2 years. It's gotten a little scarier. And so, yeah, our art is where we find strength, and it's where we rebel, and that's what I want to see more of.
That was a really nice answer, Davey.
I'm really proud of that, actually.
Better than just lots of dicks.
lots of dicks.
Which is also good.
Which is also a valid answer.
Exactly. Happy Pride, everyone.
Pride's been over for ages.
So let's look at the road ahead, everyone. I mean, what does the future hold? And I think this is probably a good question for Xavier, and especially because you said you've just gotten back. So you're going to be diving back into your research.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
What's coming up in the pipeline for you?
Well, it's not really about my research in this episode, so I'll just put it out there. I'm here as myself.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of talking about, like, I would love to see more queer people being recognized who are making games, getting funding, being able to get into a show, or not just like PAX and things like that, but being able to be listed in any other store, right? Steam is great, but I'm kind of more talking about, like, if you have an event that you're curating, let's say there's a DJ playing and then there's like some kind of music on, it would be cool to have more, like, open play sessions that people can just drop in and see what the game's about, more venues opening so people can check out games. And I think you kind of nowadays need to find friends who are like hosting gameplay parties to know where that's happening. But if we can see more and more pop-ups where you can see queer games just like, oh, it's happening here right now and it's a part of this bigger event and get lots of traffic, I would love to see more like open, visible collaborations between queer game devs and the big events that we have, right? We have so many great events in Melbourne. I think I saw in Time Out, the travel website, they're listing like the top 16 cities to visit. Melbourne's number one. I don't know why. I mean, it's a great city. I love the food, but we're apparently number one on Time Out. So
For what?
For food and travel and tourism and to visit the city.
Yeah.
So I think if people are coming in to see Melbourne, we should be able to like showcase more. And one of the things we do really well here is game dev.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. And you're probably more likely to sort of get like grants and funding and all that kind of stuff. No.
It's a bit tricky.
That's dried up a bit.
No, the government currently is reevaluating the next 5 years of strategy, and we're just putting all the white papers
It is
and comments
an
and everything,
election year too. So.
And I've had friends who literally moved from Sydney to Brisbane just to be able to apply for a different grant. Like they literally timed the development cycle in the last 6 months to move to Brisbane So they can say we've lived here for 6 months. Now we're a resident. We can qualify for Screen Queensland.
They should go to New Zealand. Apparently, New Zealand's great for us.
I love it.
I don't know.
Code New Zealand.
Yes,
that group
that's
that
the
we
one,
met.
yeah.
Oh, Code's great.
Yeah. They bring their group out to PAX every year and
year.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And they're not exclusively for queer people, but there's a lot of
They're
queer
very supportive.
Yes, incredibly supportive.
'Cause didn't you interview people who did Shelf Life?
We did interview,
right?
yeah,
for- that's from New Zealand.
Yeah, for knife,
Knife?
yep.
Is that how you say it? They're
FNAF, yeah.
Knife?
yeah. I was actually just
I think
talking.
that
I was
is,
talking
yeah.
to them on their Discord server this morning. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
cool.
Yeah. So for Knife, we've interviewed them from Shelf Life, a couple of others as well, including Adaptory with our friend Jevon
Jevon.
Stormcloak. Adaptory. So have you played Adaptory?
No, I have no.
Recommend.
Okay. Highly recommend. It is in early access on Steam at the moment, but yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
No, there should be more. So what about you? Like, what about the future of queer games? Where's that going for you?
Yeah. What would you like to see? Seeing as though we don't have insider goss, like Davey does. So what would you like to see?
Kinds of insight.
You mentioned how you want it to be a bit more rebellious. What does that look like?
I
Rebel, maybe.
That's my challenge to the devs out there, right? It can look like anything. Like rebellion through art is whatever the artist makes it. And so it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you because you'll just know it when you see it.
Yeah.
We'll be sitting here on this show.
Going,
and
"Oh my God."
We'll be like, oh my God, this game is pure rebellion.
Pure rebellion. I really want to see more of like queer people doing like game presenting. Because you remember how like Dawn did like the Gamer Awards, the drag queen? I love it when drag queens do stuff because they're so gay. They're just so aggressively homosexual. I just love it.
Yeah.
So I hope that like more stuff like that happens. I've been noticing like a lot of uptick on Twitch and stuff like that of like queer people making games. They're starting to get very, very popular. So I'm hoping that that keeps up. Because I reckon if queer people are playing queer games to a bigger audience, that'll increase demand, which will make those games want to be queerer to be played. Because it's that game, that thing we were talking about like last week and a little bit of this week too, where it's like these games are trying to make as much money as possible. So who are they going to pander to and who are they going to try and include in their game to get that community? And if our community is really big and we're very supportive, it'll start going into the games again. But obviously it's such a tricky situation at the moment when it comes to game purchasing. It's kind of hard to find. But I reckon having nice big queeros doing all the game commentary and stuff like that. I love that shit. I always tune in.
And we'll still be here as the bargain bin gamers every single week, flying our big queer flags proud to the tens of you who listen. No, there's more than that. And you know,
It's Pike at home listening.
it
Hi,
is
Pike.
Yeah, my dog listens to us while I'm out of the house, so he hears a familiar voice and doesn't think he's alone. But yes, we do want to hear from you. So if you have any thoughts or feedback, you know, what do you think is the current state of LGBTQIA plus gaming? Where is it going? What do you want to see more of? If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Join us on our Discord server. There is a link in the episode description. Join the discussion there, or drop us a line on socials, or send us an email, bargainbingamer, GAYMER@gmail.com.
Or send us a smoke signal. I don't know. It seems like we have it all.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. We are
TikTok.
We're on the TikTok, and we'd love to tick your talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us on the TikTok about what you think. Good on you, Davey.
He's fucking funny, isn't he? Well, that is it for another week. It's been great to have you back again, Xavier. Thank
So
you
good to be
so
back.
much
Thank you.
for making the trip here to the Bulldog to be with us.
Yes, the Bulldog.
You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I guess it's all right to see you again,
I mean, if you're lucky.
if you're lucky. But I guess until next time, I've been Davey,
I've been Mitch.
I've been Xavier.
and we've been
The Bargain Bin Gamers. The Xavier edition.
Wow.
Bye, bye, bye.
That's not an X. That's an X.
Double T Media.